Hello, this is Janet16 and welcome to a new series on Cornell Street. We are now officially in 2018 and I wanted to start this new year with some how-to videos. So what we're going to be doing is taking a look at the car repair garage, which is just over here. I will set the camera up and I will be taking you step by step on how to build and add detail to just one scene on your layout. So without further ado, let's get the camera set up and we'll start with the first part of this series. Okay, so here's the scene of the car repair garage. Now this is of course on my modern image layout Cornell Street, based on the border of Wales. Now being modern image, I'm kind of I gotta focus more on having modern cars on the road, cars you see every day, but I've always been a massive fan of classic cars. So what I've decided to do, to have this garage but have it as a specialist who helps maintain and do MOTs on the classic cars. That way I can have classic cars on Cornell Street, which is a modern image layout. I could add one or two mixed in with the traffic flow because you do still see classic cars on the roads, but I do like my classic cars and I would like to see a lot of them. So that's what I decided to do with this layout. So here's the scene. This is where the repair garage is always going to be. This was in the original plans as well. So first thing to do is mark out where you're going to put everything. So first of all, we do have this actual garage that goes into the arches. Now of course this was very common and still is. You have these arches where the railways run over and people would buy the rooms underneath for their businesses or for storage and stuff like that. So I thought it was ideal when I saw these printouts, these laser cut arches. I thought, yes, I got to have a garage. There are wires sticking out of it. That is for the welding light, as there will be a car being worked on in the garage, and that we will be taking a look at that later on in this series, detailing it up and everything. But for now, we're going to mark out where everything's going to go. So, obvious, number one thing you need, well, I think you need, is somewhere where the people would probably leave their keys with the garage owner or maybe pay for their bill. So I picked this one up a few years ago now. This is a metal, they're like site offices, you see them on building sites and everything. And I've seen many over the years, go and work with my dad and everything. So I picked this one up a few years ago. It did feature on the Saffron line at the derelict house, and I thought it'd be ideal for this scene. It's very modern, you see them all about all the time, and what I got to do, I will be changing the colour of it. I'm thinking of leaving it the blue but weathering it up, painting the door a different colour, and yeah, and probably add a few things to it like a bench to the front of it or something. So I need this to go somewhere. I was thinking right over here. Now you can't see the front of it from this angle, but that is the end of the car garage scene. After that we're going to have a bit of a building site going on. So I think that's ideal. That it's also right outside the garage, so people will see their car and then pay for it like that. So other thing is, the obvious thing you would find in a place like this, cars. Now like I said, I've always liked my classic cars. I have got several examples here from previous layouts that I've kept hold of. I've pretty much got a lot of classic cars on 176th. So we'll start with this one. This is a Morris, sorry, not a Morris, a Mini Clubman. Very nice little car. I thought this was a nice little vehicle a few years ago. We have one car that's got to be in the scene, Mr. Bean's Mini. definitely want to put that in this yard. We have a Royal Mail van. Now I'm not too sure of the name of this. I forget, but yeah, I picked this one up for Evergreen Bank actually. Really pleased with that one. We have an old Capri with the classic black bonnet. It's also a bit hard work over on this lamppost, which is now fitted. So yeah, we have a Capri. We have an old Ford Anglian van. Another I picked up a few years ago. I think that's a Hornby one actually. An old Porsche classic car. And then we have another Mini, but a rally spec version. And same as Mr. Bean's, to be honest, just some stickers stuck on it and the lights on the front. So this is the cars that I want to put in the scene. Now I do have two other cars I want to put in this scene as well, but these are not classics. We have a BMW Z4 and a Toyota truck 4x4. Now these would be possibly the owners or people who worked at the garage, their vehicles. So I want to see where these can all go. Now I was thinking of having a line of them down the back of this wall. So if we, let's get the Ford Anglian actually. If we put him over there will be a fence going around this, of course, keeping it all enclosed. Maybe put a Capri there. These arches, they still get my hands quite dirty because they were never varnished. Something I've got to do. Porsche, maybe put a Porsche at the back. There will be people going around these cars as well, like workmen who's working on who work for the garage maybe. Mr. Bean's Mini. Let's put the Clubman over here. We'll go into that a bit more, what's going over here. What else? Actually, if we put a Capri like that maybe, and then have this Mini over here. I do have a couple more cars coming I've ordered from Hatton's. They were selling some classics cars, a company who made them a few years ago. And they're really cheap, and I do plan to have one or two quite rusty, weathered, and possibly have one where this Ford Anglian truck is at a van. Have it in the corner there. You always see one classic car in a corner quite rusted and overgrown, so that's what I'm going to go for, the back at this corner. So that's why I'm looking at these cars going. Maybe put the owner's car over here somewhere, and then this one over here. Might only need one. I think that looks okay. I have thought about putting toilets on the side of this office. Something I'll look at building, scratch building, and we'll take a look at in a later episode. Now, before I go any farther, inside the garage, we will be doing an episode on that as well, where we add detail to it. But I have got this old car. Well, it's not that old. It's a Merc, a Mercedes. I think it's a C63 or something. Not 100% sure. But I wanted to see if I could build a ramp, because I want a car up on the jacks in the garage and people working on it. Now, at the time of doing this, I didn't think maybe having classic cars as a special thing. So I might change this car, yeah, I'm not too sure. But I don't know, we'll see how it goes, because it is an old car. Early 2000s, probably late 90s, I'm not too sure. But we'll see, might change it for a different car yet. But I have built the ramp to go inside. I have got this shed I built from a Wheels kit. I think it was Wheels, I'm not too sure. Now I'm not sure yet to place it somewhere in here. Maybe just a spares shed where they store most of their parts, but I don't think it looks secure enough, even though there's got to be proper gates on it and everything. I don't know, I'm trying to go for a realism kind of theme going on, so I'm not too sure about that shed. I also have this little, if I can open it. Now this is all the people and everything. I do have a portaloo, but I am thinking about scratch building a toilet to go on the side here. So I might keep this for something house. tool chest that will go in the actual garage. And then I got these bins from Bachmann, wheelie bins. Might put them on the front over there in the corner or something, because they will have rubbish. And then I also got a bunch of people in here I bought from the Bachmann traction maintenance depot workers, number 36051, and they're very good figures because they can also look like they work in a normal garage. They don't have to work in a train depot, so that's good. And before we move on, I have also bought these as well. Now all of this I'm pretty much not going to use, but I do want these oil drums and these tanks here, because that's something you would see. Now these will all be going in the actual garage area inside there for detail later on in the series. I'm just going to take a drink. So that's something to look at. Also, if we just move them to the side, I do have a couple of crates and pallets. These are Pico ones, and I will place some of these around the area. Not too sure where, but that's all detail we can add at a later date. For now, it's just the placement of the main objects. So I'm not too sure about using the shed. We'll have a look at that later on in the series. So let's move the cars and we'll move on to the next step. Other details like tyres and wheels, obviously they will go in the scene. And also looking at getting some cheap cars, 176, and breaking them up and using like mirrors, or I'll see if I can cut the bonnets out if I can, and that'll be very good. And maybe have a door or something. So let's talk about scenery, placement of scenery. Now this would be normally a later stage in the series. However, what I have done is used Gauge Master rolls of grass you can buy, and I got offcuts of it from Stoke Summit, and I was doing a bit of planning on this area the other night, just looking to see how I could do things, and I cut out some of the grass, and what I'm going to do is just place somewhere I thought they could possibly go. I was thinking of having that one there, this one over here, like that. I have got another here somewhere too. Sorry about that. So yeah, here's what the grass looks like. It's just card with static grass stuck to it basically, but it's very ideal for placing down and then adding to it, because it's very similar to static grass and it does look good. I did have another piece to go here, but I can't find it. I've also already stuck these two, you would have noticed, at the back around these two pillars, just to see how well it would stick using super glue. Turns out very good. So I'm thinking of having this bit here, and over in this corner having a bit of a mess and bits of car and everything. And then we know the cars are all being lined up here ready to go in for their maintenance and MOTs and everything. So let's stick these down. Now to do that you can use several things. PVA glue is pretty much the basic, that's what everyone uses. But to make this faster, I'm going to use some of my other glues I use. Now I have this one, this is Loctite glue. Some of the more expensive super glue you can buy, however they do come up on offer in Sainsbury's every now and then, and I picked up a pack of 3 for like £2, which is very good price. And the reason I'm using this is because I'm filming this video and I want it to dry fast. This glue will dry super fast. So what you want to do is place it upside down. And just get some on there. Make sure you get the corners because that's the bits that really need to stick down. Again, you can use PVA, it's just PVA's got to take a bit longer to dry but this should do the job easy. Make sure you put the lid back on, because if you leave the lid off, it will dry up pretty fast and you've wasted a lot of glue. It's very sticky as well, so make sure you don't get it stuck on your hands, and just place it. It will move until you get it where you want, and just put some pressure down. There we go. Like I said, there will be a fence going around the actual area, so that's okay. You will notice I've used masking tape here just to smooth over the Plasticard. Plasticards, I put that because I just used offcuts bit of board to make it a little bit raised, and I didn't want the lines in it, so I put Plasticard on. Also, it's very good for making the scene look a bit uneven, which most garages are like that. The one I take my car to is, so that's what I'm going from really. So let's do the same with this one, and we'll stick that down. I will apologise if you hear snoring in the background. I am filming this late at night and I have a very loud old dog who likes to snore quite a bit. There we go. Okay, so we're back. So I stopped the video just because the battery on the camera, I didn't realise how low it had got. A quick change, I did paint whilst I was waiting for it to charge the first coat of, it's just a grey, I'm not too sure what it's called actually, a Manhattan Grey. Now these are testers you can buy from, you know, your local DIY shops and that. Very cheap. I've been using them quite a bit on modelling stuff for a while now because they're cheap, they don't destroy the brushes, you don't have to put them in paint thinner after, they wash out very easy. I'm not too sure what the paint it's called something, but yeah, they're testers, they're for your house paint basically, but no, they're very good. You can wash them out very easy and I've been using them a lot. So I put a first coat down, it will need a second coat. However, this is just the undercoat. I will probably be using a very fine gravel for the actual base layer to the scene. So the grass is in. I did cut one more piece to go in the back and I will fit that now. And I think that will be it for this this episode. And then we'll go on to a lot more interesting things like scenery and weathering stuff up. I will be doing a video on painting as well. Make sure I get it in there. There we go. Straight away the grass really makes the scene look a lot better, and I've been wanting to do this video, well, start a series for a while because I just wanted to get these grass scenes in. So that's it basically for this episode. We will move on to, in episode 2 we will move on to possibly fitting the light for the actual garage itself, and we'll possibly be putting in the base coat of gravel as well. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe if you want to see more. I hope you enjoyed this first episode of this new series, and I can't wait to get more work done in episode 2. Thanks for watching, and I shall see you all soon. Bye for now.